Okay, how you doing? Uh, I had a thought about something today as we're heading into fall weather and things are getting darker and colder and quieter. Um, Sometimes, and even in the middle of the summer, this can happen, but sometimes we get a little bit bummed or dull or I don't know, maybe sad. Maybe some people get they love the sun so much and they need a lot of vitamin D and they struggle maybe in the fall and the winter. Or maybe you're in a situation that you don't want to be in and you're struggling with it because you don't know how to deal with it or get out of it or whatever. Um, so I learned a thing or I figured out a thing, I guess I'd say, when I was going through a situation like that several years ago. Um, I had to move in with my father-in-law and take care of him. He was getting old and starting to time out, and my husband and I moved in to take care of him, and we'd been between homes, you know, and we knew when he was gone we would be inheriting his house. So we went ahead and moved in and put him on hospice, and it was a very convenient time and idea and all that. But then with our presence, he started feeling better. And he didn't pass on for another 8 years. Well, so that's not what I signed up for. I signed up to take care of him while he was on hospice and as he left this earth. And he didn't want to be here anymore. And I really loved my father-in-law a lot, and I couldn't leave him high and dry. So I we stayed and we took care of him and we lived with him, 3 bedroom, 2 bath house, and all that goes along with that. And he wasn't very high maintenance, but it's not what I signed up for, and that's not what I wanted to be doing in my 50s. I mean, my husband and I were by ourselves now, and our daughter had grown up and moved on, and we wanted to travel and enjoy our lives. Anyway, so that didn't that didn't happen as quickly as I expected it to, and I really struggled with it. I mean, I did my best, and good thing I loved my father-in-law and him and I got along. He was actually one of my very, very best friends, and him and I had gotten along from day one. So that made it better. That made it easier. All right. So after several months, maybe a year, I was really struggling with that. I am good at caregiving, but I am not a caregiver. That is not my job. That's not what I want to do. But I did recognize that um, I could really learn a lot about myself, and I could really use the situation to grow and mature and just become a better person through the adversity of it all. Anyway, one of the things I determined as I started getting more and more, I felt tricked and trapped. He didn't mean to do that, but that's what it felt like. And it just began to really bring me down. And I was just not a happy girl for quite a while. Now, we ended up living together for 4 years or so, and then he moved into an assisted living and lived for another 3.5 years or so. So, so I would wake up in the mornings just so depressed about what the situation was and feeling so trapped and hopeless, helpless in the situation. Now, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky person, and I'm pretty positive, but man, if I'm not happy, I am not happy, and I don't like hide it very well. Um, so, that's me, and I did my best. But so I remember at some point waking up just in despair and thinking, I got to figure out a way out of this. I got to figure out how to adjust my perspective or something to where I'm I'm okay with this situation until it's over. So what I did, I ended up doing some research on it, and I called it the Smile Cure. Um, and basically, it's just waking up every morning and smiling. You just smile. And maybe in your mind, you don't have anything to smile about because you're so pissed off or sad or whatever the thing is. But you do it anyway. You just do it you just smile. And it does something to you. So, this was my like logic about the whole thing. If you are happy already, something makes you happy, you smile. And I thought, well, the opposite could be true too. Maybe if you smile, it'll activate muscles in your face and your jaw that create chemicals that produce dopamine or whatever and affects your brain and your thinking. So I was experimenting with that theory, and I found that while I was smiling, just the simple choice to smile and the act of smiling just for a few minutes, while I was smiling, I couldn't think about anything negative. I couldn't, it was hard to smile and tap into the reasons I wasn't very happy at the same time. It was like you couldn't fit both in the same box. So I thought, okay, that's just probably a thing. And so I'm going to just keep doing this thing. So then the next morning I would wake up and I just smiled. And, I'm laying there for a while, just kind of waking up and stuff. And I smiled. So then that led me to another thought. So I walked myself through an exercise, I guess, that I created, like on the fly in my bed. Um, and I thought about all of the reasons I was unhappy. So the first reason was I didn't want to be taking care of an old man. There was other things I wanted to do with my life. And then I thought, okay, but that old man is somebody I really love and I get along with as a rule. Of course, in the process of living under the same roof with somebody that you haven't necessarily chosen to partner with or whatever, you can rub each other the wrong way. You need time apart, and things, you got to work things out. But I don't want to be taking care of an old man. But the old man is a wonderful old guy, and I love him very much. He's a friend. He's my friend and my father-in-law. So I thought, so that kind of canceled it out a little bit, canceled out the fact that I got to take care of this old man. But I love that old man. And then number two, I don't really like this house. Um, it's a nice little house. It's fairly new. It was just a boring, tract house. But it was in a nice neighborhood. I enjoyed my neighbors. Um, it was a decent house. Nothing wasn't like I had to move into a shack. And he allowed me to do anything I wanted in the yard, in the house. I could paint, I could rearrange, I could take, his fridge out and put my fridge in. I mean, he allowed me carte blanche to do anything I wanted in that house. He kept saying, this will eventually be your home, Sam. Go ahead and do whatever you want. And so I had that freedom. So, yes, I didn't like that house, but I at least was in a neighborhood I liked. I had neighbors I liked, and I was able to do whatever I wanted to do in terms of making it more comfortable for myself. So I did. And, to tell you the truth, I lived there for 13 years before I sold it after my husband had passed away. And by the time I left it, it was a cool place. I mean, the yard, the inside, everything. I really had created an atmosphere, an environment that felt like home to me. But I knew that after my father-in-law and my husband had passed away, I knew I would sell it and find my own home that felt like home to me. And I did. That's another story. Anyway, all right. So that's an example. I think there was like 5 things that I was just not happy about. But as I thought about those things realistically, I realized they are things I'm not happy about, but they are like the best possible version of those things. And so I had to kind of biohack myself into to not feeling sorry for myself and to actually feeling grateful that even though I'm going through this season of time, at least each one of those factors is the best possible version. And at some point, I will walk away with a home bought and paid for. I mean, how many people can? I mean, to me, that actually, I realized that sounds like I'm one of the luckiest people I know. So sometimes you really got to work through your shit like that. You really got to think about it and dissect it and say, what am I doing? And look and deep inside yourself and say, what is it that I'm so unhappy about? Why am I, whatever. So I was able to just like really do my own inner work about that, but it started with that smile cure. Because when you're smiling, even if you don't feel like you have anything to smile about, when you're smiling, it shuts off those negative thoughts in your brain. It's like you can't think of them. You can't fit them in there. You can't smile. Try it right now. Like just start smiling and I'm sure your body releases chemicals that create dopamine or something. I mean, like I have to go back over my research to tell you, but I did a blog about it one time and I think I talked about all that in there. Anyway, so I should put I maybe I'll put my blog the link like in the below. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because as we head into the season, this fall season, winter, whatever, which also means holidays, people start getting anxious about that. They start getting sad and they're not as busy and there's no sun and all that. So try the smile cure, see if you can reverse yourself and create a better inner landscape for you to think about more positive things. And also, you may be able to figure out a, a way out of it, you know. So that's just a little tip, little trick from me that I learned the hard way, and I just wanted to share it with you. Anyway, I am so glad you're here. Please down there tell me if you've experienced that kind of thing or what you experience when you've tried it because it really does work. It's weird, but I'm glad I discovered it and I'm glad that I get to share it with you and I hope it works for you and I'm just glad you're here. So, say whatever you want in the comments and we'll talk again tomorrow. Okay. All right, bye.